I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, September the 9th, brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is approved for the use in beef cattle, calves, and non-lactating dairy cattle. It's readily available without a script until June. And Norbrook wants you to know that they're changing the rules. It's going to be in June sometime. You're going to have a script for any kind of antibiotic that you get, including penicillin. A steady victory, and I'm talking about getting steady money for fat cattle this week. We've been bleeding pretty hard the last couple weeks, taking some pretty significant hits to our market position in the fed cattle market. Your Northern Plains guys were especially determined to hold the ground this week, and they struggled with it because we had such a short week of trading. If you wanted to sell some cattle, all of a sudden it got right up on top of you because Tuesday was start of the week, and by Wednesday it was already winding down, and then we had a pretty significant trade on Thursday, but still not near enough. And there's going to be some more trade on Friday, but we got the market established steady, 142 to 145 in the north and 141 in the south. But that was kind of a victory because at least myself, I didn't feel like we were going to be able to hold the ground the way that the rug had been pulled out for the last 2 consecutive weeks after we'd been on a big gangbuster there for a long time. But able to get things shored back up. And we continue to see packers run the chain speeds, pretty wide open. We've had some big slaughters the last few weeks. Our cattle are not grading near what they should because they're so green, but they are really heavy because our carcass weights are way up there. They're not pumping as much corn to these cattle. They're not grading as well. The corn's high. So we're kind of seeing that whole scenario there, but just glad to see them able to hold steady. And now maybe next week we can think about working this market position back to the north because we're going to have progressively lighter numbers of market-ready cattle as we go forward here towards the end of this year and especially all of next year for sure. I wanted to share with you a post that I shared on Facebook, both Feeder Flash Gang Facebook page and my own, which has been filled up for a couple of years here, but Feeder Flash Gang, there's plenty of room on there if you guys want to jump on that Facebook page. But I shared an op-ed that was written by Brett Crosby, who is a regional director for U.S. Cattlemen's Association, and his op-ed was in response to a blog published by U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And it was saying that the Congress is rushing to consider aggressive legislation to regulate beef markets, talking about Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act. Well, he had a nice, and it was well done and not disparaging to them in any way, but he had a nice reply to that and saying that, that is not the case at all. That we've been working on this aggressively for the last 2.5 years, especially with U.S. Cattlemen's Association and the state cattlemen's associations that are actually affiliates of NCBA, but they're wanting to do the best for their own constituents there. But he noted in the op-ed that the concept was introduced by Chuck Grassley in 2002. That was 20 years ago. We've been trying to get something done on this as far as the portion of the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act that would preserve negotiated trade at a minimum percentage. But he was saying that the bill that Chuck Grassley was pushing in 2002 was called Transparency for Independent Livestock Producers Act, similar to what we've got now. Was not able to get enough push to get it through, but I think we've got it this time. And we can get it through. We just got to rally the troops here at crunch time here in the last few weeks because we got to get it done before the end of this month and before things change at the midterm elections. And we've just got to get it done right now because also mandatory price reporting has to be reauthorized before the end of this month. It would be a good time to attach this bill to mandatory price reporting. And in my belief, like I've stated a few times, I don't believe we need to reauthorize mandatory price reporting if we're not going to get this bill included in it, because the mandatory price reporting has been better for the packers than it was for the producers. We've been doing that for 22 years, and it's just given something set in stone that the packers can use to fulfill their formula contracts. And I don't know why they need to have that information if they won't participate in it at a minimum percentage level. It makes no sense that they get to use that. That they really shouldn't. And why should it be published if they're just going to use it to fulfill these captive supply agreements that actually keep pressure on your market and keep your cattle feeders and cattle producers, as it trickles down, just underwater all the time. So it's really frustrating to me that we see that being done. But he noted that since 2002, whenever they first tried to get something like this pushed through, we have lost 75% of our feedlots. And annually, we lose around 1,200 cow-calf and or backgrounders every year. Well, I mean, it's just going to get down to where there's no players, guys. When there's no players, then you've got no sale barns for price transparency on your feeder cattle and calf markets. You've got nobody to listen to the feeder flash and nobody to buy the products that are advertised on here. But I tell you what, guys, if you don't think it's bad that we're losing participants in this industry, you need to think about it. And different things like pushing mandatory animal ID and things like that, that's going to be the next thing that they're going to try to cram down our throat. It's just going to keep forcing more producers out. The average age of our producer is pretty damn old anyway, and you think that's not going to force more of them out, you're not thinking right. But let's talk about your board on Thursday. October live cattle futures up 12 cents at 144.37. That's a premium to what our weighted average is going to be in your 5-area feeding region this week. But of course, it's for the next month out. December down 42 cents at 149.65. Your back months were mixed from down 22 cents to up 12, but really not too much activity in your live cattle pits, and there really hasn't been that much in there for quite a while. September feeder cattle up 30 cents at 182.32. October was up 45 cents at 184.40. Back months on feeder cattle all up 25 to 52 cents. Corn was down 2.5 cents a bushel at 668.5. Beans up 2.5 cents a bushel at 13.86. Fat cattle trade did finally establish the market on Thursday. There's going to be some more trade here on Friday, and I fully assumed it to be within the ranges that we've established here on Thursday. But of course, Colorado's confidential. We don't get to see what they have for cattle there. We don't know what the price of it is, and how would you price one in Colorado when you don't know what the hell the market is. So there's that price market transparency. How about Iowa? 5,900 sold in a negotiated manner on Thursday. They've only sold 6,700 for the week. Now, I do know of some late trade that didn't get put in on there, but it's still going to be not nearly enough. Be a lot of work to do on Friday in Iowa, but live sales on Thursday in Iowa, 142 to 145. That's steady. Dress trade 224 to 230. That's actually kind of steady to $2 higher. Nebraska, 17,200 head sold on Thursday. Pretty aggressive there, but still less than 24,000 for the week. They usually do better than that, but it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't do any more than that. But live sales in Nebraska, 142 to 145. Dress sales from 226 to 230. Kansas sold 10,400 on Thursday. That's a big movement for them one day. 13,200 head for the week, all at 141. Texas sold almost 6,000 on Thursday, and they've only sold a couple hundred more than that altogether through the week. They could do some more business in Texas, but all at 141. So, like I said to start out the report, it was a steady victory. Box beef cutout values were cheaper, And that's one reason your packers are being so tough to trade with, is because they are losing ground on the product that they produce. Choice cuts 258.01 down 333. Selects down 147 at 236.04. Your actual slaughter information come back for the week ending August the 27th. Showed our average dressed steer carcass weight at 904 pounds, which is huge, but it's the same as it was the report before. But man, we've got these big old gangly things, and they are not grading very well. In fact, Texas grading percentage choice and better, latest available, which was last week, was barely 65%. Ouch. Talking about our slaughter, this is a holiday week, don't forget, 385,000 with nothing on Monday. Compared to a year ago, same holiday week, we've slaughtered 19,000 more, so pretty aggressive there. Talk about what else is going on. Here at DV Auction, we're proud to be partners with Western Video Markets. We take the internet bids for all of their video sales. They are doing some production bull sales and things for us way out west there in California where they're at, and to the north. But there's not a better outfit that we would like to be involved with and doing business with than Western Video Markets. And Western Video Market is having their Haythorn sale Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, September the 13th. They're having it going to be broadcasted from the Haythorn Ranch out there close to Ogallala, Nebraska, in western Nebraska. They have a lot of those local type cattle in there. Going to have 25,000 head of cattle on offer on Tuesday. You can go on and look at the catalog, see the videos of those cattle at wvmcattle.com. When it comes next Tuesday, you can bid on those cattle at bidonwvmcattle.com. Or you can go to dvauction.com and get the same console right there. If you'd rather watch it on your TV with your dish net, go to channel 998. Talk about your feeder cattle markets, your real-time index on DV Auction based on an 800-pound steer. Cash price up in your sale barns up through the middle 12 states reported to Cattle Market Central. 181.02, up 57 cents from the end of Wednesday's trade there. But talk about your big sales on Thursday. Winter livestock in Pratt, Kansas, 2,800 head there. Your market reporters struggle there, but they basically called it unevenly steady to $5 higher. Had a pretty decent sale there. Farmers and Ranchers livestock in Salina, Kansas also had 2,800 head. Feeders are mostly steady to $3 higher. Calves were lower a little bit. They called them down 1 to 3. I'm not exactly sure where that terminology come from. Actually, I do know where it come from. The lack of training. But they did have a stick-out sale in Salina. 58 steers weighed 932 at 180.75. Talk about your Zoetta stick-out sale of the day. It was Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota. They had 5,700 head. I had told you that Jared Herman, the new ownership there, wasn't going to change anything as he took over ownership of Mitchell Livestock, because that's a long withstanding auction there that has a lot of high volume sales there. But I lied. He did add DV Auction broadcasting to that sale. So, of course, that endears that sale to me a little bit more, and I'm glad that he did. But now that's another option for you, is to go on to dvauction.com every week, watch the sale in Mitchell, South Dakota, view and bid that sale from your phone or tablet or computer or wherever you like to do that from. But look at this automated market report from Mitchell Livestock, Mitchell, South Dakota. 207 head of 6-weight steers, average 648, with a weighted average price of $211.17. Wow. 504 head of 8-weight steers in Mitchell, averaged $855 with a weighted average price of $181.83. 518 head of 9-weight steers in Mitchell, South Dakota, averaged $932 in weight and averaged $173.40 in price. The biggest weight of heifers tested was your 8-weight heifers. There was 1,057 head of them. They averaged $848 with a weighted average price of $169.32. And the stick out sale that I saw in Mitchell on Thursday was 160 head of weaned 645-pound steers, bring $2.20 a pound. Wow. How about Ogallala Livestock Auction? They had a sale on Thursday. It wasn't one of their bigger sales, but had some stick out sales, including these peewee steers. 102 head of them weighed 339 at $2.76 a pound. How about Lamoni Livestock Market there in Lamoni, Iowa? My buddy Jason Allen runs that sale there and does a really great job. They had a lot of stick out deals. It was their barbecue special, and as you can see by this picture, this is indicative of any free barbecue special that you might have at any auction market throughout the Midwest. This just happened to be Lamoni on Thursday, but they did include it in their offering, have a string of heifers that had a Montana origin but backgrounded there locally. They were thin and black and really top quality there. Had a string of them weighed 680 pounds at 180, and another string weighed 670 at 182. Heifers, guys. How about Belfouche Livestock Market, Belfouche, South Dakota? I talked to Baxter Anders there, the owner at Belfouche, and I made sure that these cattle were not program cattle. They were not guaranteed to be all natural or NHTC or anything. He said they were just really good local home-raised steers. 52 head of them weighed 990 at 183 1/4. But that's still not the biggest quote that I saw on Thursday. Top quote that I saw on Thursday, and your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, come out of Valentine Livestock Market in Valentine, Nebraska. Stephen Dent sold 188 steers that weighed 855 at 202 1/4. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.